Welcome to the 7th episode of the podcast Please Plan to Fail, hosted by me, Anna Olafsdottir. For those who don't know, I am a health and life coach, a filmmaker and creator, performer, and project manager, mostly. I live in Barcelona, but I am originally from Iceland, and I have a 10-year-old son. I am very proud of this episode as I have a guest and a video recording, kind of like a talk show style, which is kind of my future dream, with an amazing, talented woman, Romina Hakim, or Romi. I know that you will get inspired by hearing her story, just like I have been, and I hope you can find something nice to do while you listen. It is more than an hour, but I promise you that it will be an hour's worth of listening. Thank you so much for listening. So, Romi, you're here in my podcast.
I'm here in your podcast, finally.
I'm
A dream come true.
Yes,
Yes.
for me it is.
Yeah.
It is. I wanted to have you on my podcast since almost I met you, I think. And maybe we should start with you just introducing yourself shortly, just telling like who is Romi.
Who is Romi? We have to ask this question like several times over years because
You're right.
yeah, I feel like I'm a person that evolves over time, and I think that one of my biggest capacities is like making an update, like reinventing myself completely and changing lives. But to be skip to the point, well, I'm Romina. I come from Argentina. In July, it's gonna be 4 years that I live here.
Yes.
Time flies, yeah. I'm a voiceover actress. That means that I work with my voice. People pay me. But I have so much fun. I will also tell about that because I didn't study this. I'm also a podcaster. So when you learn Spanish, you're very welcome to come.
Oh my God! Yeah, exactly. That's
That's a
totally
challenge.
right. That's
Yeah.
my mission.
Yeah, I put a challenge over there.
Yeah, no, that's my mission.
And also people to be aware that I'm putting live on a challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm also DJ, but I'm focusing more in the voiceover podcast and open up this career also as a podcast coach and manager.
Exactly.
That means that I help other people, especially women, because we tend to isolate and feel shame. I'm not ready to have their own podcast because I think that everybody has some amazing stories to tell. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And people believe, oh, there's a lot of podcasts out there. And I say, no, it's not how you think. So yeah, but originally I graduated from fashion design. Yeah, I did a lot of things. Like I told you outside the year, I was also a fashion photographer,
Yeah.
like for local brands and mostly local brands. And I also had my own pet clothing branding, clothing. It was very cute, and I was 4 years into that. But then, and this is like something most people can be related to. Sometimes we study something that then we don't do, and we punish because of that, or
Exactly.
like, oh, I wasted like 5 years, 6 years of my life studying something that I don't do now. But I always say, especially to those people, that it's not that you studied something unnecessary. It's not that you didn't learn anything out of that, because maybe you learn tools, maybe you learn how to grown up, because you start as a kid, has no idea of how the real world operates. And even in college and in university, you don't know how real life is operating. You cannot figure everything out. But I also embrace a lot the allowing yourself of, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't feel aligned to what I'm doing. So what happened to me is that, well, I had this series of things. I wouldn't say bad things. Things in life, signals that were telling me, okay, you should stop with the clothing because it's not there. This is not for you. I had fun, it was amazing, but no. And I say, okay. Then I started in photography, and also I had fun, but felt like something was missing. What I wanted to do was editorial photography, very theater, very that, but it wasn't giving you money because a magazine has to hire you, you know. And what gave money was making lookbooks, you know, something very commercial. But I felt it has no soul, and I need to do something that has a soul. So I felt a lot of years like lost, looking for the purpose, like why everybody knows how or what they're good at. And they just go, I don't know, let's put Amy Winehouse. She didn't dream to be a singer. She just sang, and her friend just say, oh, please record something, and then boom. But she wasn't meant to that. I mean, and I say, you know, not to compare to the Queen, you know, but but I feel that everybody, I saw that all the environment had so clear what to do, and they just went to that, and they were successful. And me, I was like in this loop, you know, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And nothing clear. So I was like, think back of those times, laughing, you know, because with my friends, like, oh, I'm in a crisis now. But of all those crises, I took something out, because one of the things that I recommend is journaling a lot. Like, why am I feeling like shit? You know, why am I feeling like this? What am I frustrated with? What things do I like? Even if it's like I like dancing naked in the living room. Okay, put that.
Exactly.
Like put, you know, right?
Exactly. Getting it out, you know, on paper is such a healing process.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And like you say, do the things that you love doing, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, dancing naked in the living room.
Yeah, especially to take from here to outside, because when you have it in your head, you cannot sleep. You get to live in your head, and the worst thing that you can do is live in your head, because you feed that monster that tells you you're not capable, you're not talented, you're just starting. Why is somebody gonna pay you for that? You know, a lot of stories that we tell ourselves instead of choosing the other bright side of the story. Like, what if something good happens? What if somebody likes what I do? What if, and I post this in Instagram and I get a collaboration, or somebody that wants to be with me? Who knows? You don't ever know where life is gonna take you, and that is amazing.
Exactly. If you open that door, you know, because you always choose a side. You choose your story.
Yeah.
Choose what story you are telling, and what your story is. And I mean, I'm obsessed with stories, and I think you're as well. I mean, I come from the acting and filmmaking world as well, and like coaching is all about people's stories and this all. And I really love what you're saying about this, because I've been thinking about it so much lately with myself, about having done all these things in the past, and then like, oh my goodness, I wasted all this time on studying this and that, and you know, working on this and that, and then it's like, just no, it's all coming together. This is all part of the story. It's all like this experience and everything. It's now I am taking use of all the things that I've done that were so different, and it didn't make any sense at a point. It's like, you know, like why did I go into this direction and then this direction? It's like, oh yeah, now it all makes sense.
But if you see, I mean, there is a contact point between acting, filmmaking, coaching. I mean, it all comes down to stories, to emotions, to be present in your emotion. Don't hide them, because being actor, being the colors, the sensitive, the creative. So I think that when you have like very different paths, because in that we're very similar, what makes you unique is specifically that, the intersection between those 3, 4, 5 areas. Exactly. Because you can create something different. I mean, we tend to think that, oh, I have to be like this to people like me or hire me or whatever. And it's quite the opposite. It's what do I bring different to the world, and not feel like, frightened because of the competition. Because and competition is good to make yourself like go forward and learn.
Yeah.
But not to say, oh, I'm not like them, so I'm not gonna get anything. No, especially now. I mean, we live in a very specific moment in life, in history, at least talking about 2023, that all diversities and all the uniqueness are being embraced. And I think it's perfect. It's a very, finally. So if you have anything weird, if you're clown, I don't know, whatever you have a special fond of bonsai, just go for it. Do it.
All these specific interests, these specific layers of ourselves that are so unique and nobody else has. It's it's so beautiful, and we like all have our special, unique stories that nobody else has. And I think it's so amazing to discover this.
And also to own it. I mean, own your difference, not feel like a part of people or the world. Own it. Like, I'm like this. I'm not pretending to change. Like, I'm like this. And go all in. I mean, for me, for example, is trying to fix in new worlds, me being a tattooed woman, like, I don't know, having like a dark sense of humor, sarcastic. And you don't expect that from a professional woman, So it's like, no, I'm embracing this, and I'm gonna embrace the way that I talk because it's my natural form of communication. And it comes down with one of my top values, the sense of humor. So I put humor in everything that I do, like, even if in a talk, like very casual, but own it. Own it.
Exactly. It's I have a term that I can't remember now. It's unique. No, there's this guy that I've been listening to sometimes on YouTube that has this term to describe like these uniqueness that we have, like these unexpected qualities, like being professional but having humor, like being like you professional but you have tattoos and all this. It's okay. I'll figure it out. It's a live conversation. But yeah, I remember like when I first met you in FitPack training, I assume we were. So like, we probably were together for a few times before, like we really maybe talked.
We have to tell people that we met sweating and suffering and working out.
That's one of the things I realized, like meeting people through like workout communities like FitPack is there's something special about it, like when you're in this vulnerable place and you just connect so deeply with people, like on this primal level, and I love it. And I remember just like the energy from you, like you have this, and like I'm so bad with stereotypes, like I love stereotyping people and I hate it at the same time because maybe it comes from this, like the filmmaking or like storytelling, acting world. You're always stereotyping like people and how to cast and roles and all that. But like you're like this superhero woman, sort of. You gave me that vibe. You're like, I don't know. I can just see you picture in this super woman costume. I think it's also your like tattoos and like you're maybe, like a badass. And I was just like, you're so cool. Like, and when I heard you had a podcast, I was just, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm always curious about, it's funny because the image that you project is not the same that you feel of yourself.
Exactly.
And that is so curious. I mean, for example, when I was a teenager, also think it was very sweet. As a teenager, I was completely different. I was very shy. I mean, not shy, introvert. And I had a hard time making friends, full of insecurities, full of, I couldn't talk, I was like, you know, if you talk to the Romina of 12 years old saying, oh, the 24 is going to do radio. What? No, no way, no way. And then it's like, but I had like role models, women in rock bands that I so was craving, like, I want that attitude, you know, like, I'm not going to tolerate bull from anybody, that. So in a point, I mean, over time I learned how to say no, I learned how to overcome with myself, like, be sure, a lot of things that you take away, you know, the layers that are not serving you. And it's funny because time passes and then you see how you, I mean, I don't have a rock band, but I would have loved to.
We can create a rock band.
I want to be the drummer. I have the thing with the drum, like.
Yes. We're doing
Very,
this.
yeah. Yeah, not only because it's sexy, because the thing of, you know, you have a bad day and pa, pa.
No. The drums are the best.
It's the best. Or singer, because that is one of the things that I want to learn. But I say, okay, the people that you put as a role model, in the end, you end up becoming. And it's nice to have on an early stage people that you say, oh, I want that trait that I don't have it right now. Because I think that it's very important for women to speak up. Not be disrespectful, of course, but we tend to hide, we tend to, oh yeah, I made this cup, but no, it's horrible, it's not perfect. No, the ceramics is shitty, like, no, don't see it. And you just told me that it's perfect and you want to buy 100. Why do you say bad things about it? Exactly. About your creation? I mean, why are we having such a hard time receiving something nice? Like a gift, you know? It's so wrong.
Yes, and embracing, like you say, our uniqueness, our unique qualities and skills, and our imperfections as well, like our unique imperfections, and like the imperfections of our creations as well. I think that's what especially women have a hard time doing. Men seem to be easier on just throwing things out. Yeah. I'm not like generalizing, like, but still kind of generalizing. Yeah. We are women. Yeah, we especially seem to be more aware of our what we lack, or what we're like focusing on what we lack or what we could do better more than the other things, because usually the other things are much more like our capabilities and skills.
Exactly. I would love to add on this point that, and I'm gonna record an episode over this, that I'm sick of hearing the imposter syndrome. I don't want to hear it anymore. I mean, I think that we had enough. We have to let that go. Because what happens? I mean, when you feel identified to something, you stick your energy onto that. So you keep promoting that, and it's very subtle. I mean, maybe people don't realize this, but you say, "Oh yeah, I feel the imposter syndrome." But by doing that, you're reinforcing that, and you play this. Oh, poor thing about me, the victim mode, not to judge or blame or, I mean, take it as neutral, but it's just like an exercise to observe, why are we doing this? Why are you putting yourself and identifying with that tag and that stereotype, but especially with that tag, you know, yes, I have like a badge of honor. It's not a badge of honor, and it's like, no, I mean, change that for a beginner mindset. You're starting. I mean, everybody starts. Even the greatest ones, they had very low starts. I mean, they didn't know how to do things until you do it, basically. You cannot know anything about life until you do it. And you do it over time, over time, over time. I think that the best mental approach is to do whatever you want. If it's respectful with others, but do whatever you want. And say, I'm learning. I'm opening to all the possibilities that the universe and the world has to bring for me. And with this excitement, I mean, change that victim and the lame and the story and for the, yes, I'm learning. What else can I learn? As a child, like a child, like, ooh, with a curious mind.
How can I make a mistake here?
Exactly. Embrace the mistakes, like we said in the beginner. I mean, I think that we don't embrace mistakes as much as we should.
Exactly.
We don't. And you say, okay. There's a saying that 2 years ago I met like a, I wouldn't say guru, guide, meditation from India. And he's amazing. And he has a saying in India that when you knock, when you have 10 doors and you knock one and you, I don't know, you have dirt, a bag of trash. Okay, you go, you keep knocking, and in the 7th, you open up and you get what you want. Does that mean that the other 6 were unnecessary? No. Because if in the 7th that you open, you get what you want, that means that, I opened the first one, I don't get what I want. Good, it's one shot less that I have to do to get what I want. So it's just keep it. When you say, oh yeah, I had a very bad year, I had a very bad, nice, keep trying, because you're closer. It doesn't mean you're far, you're closer to the thing that will get you. And with that, if you look back, you will see that it maybe happened to you also. You have a conflict or a problem, but you don't know how it's going to evolve. And when you look back, and all the things that you had a plan, control, it didn't happen like that. It happened like for a side road, very unconventional. But you think and you say, oh, thank God it didn't happen the way that I thought I wanted. It's like the Rolling Stones say, you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
What do you need?
And I feel, yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. I love that. We plan ahead and we make those plans, and there's always going to be plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it always ends up right, like it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And it's so beautiful to look back. And I was just doing it this morning. I was posting on Instagram like a picture of me 10 years ago, and now, and it's not like this, oh, look big, look how much I'm better now or something like that. It's just more like, wow, how much, just a reminder for me how much I've grown for the past 10 years. And then I was 26 and I thought like, oh, I'm getting so old, I'm almost 30 and like all this shit. And now I'm like 36 and I've never felt this good. I've never been in better health and all that. And I mean, and it was a rocky road for sure, and a lot of trauma and all that got me there that I did not see or wish for, but it was all, the universe brings us what we need, I guess. And I think it's so nice what you were saying about like the imposter syndrome, that it's something, because we use it so much today. It's like a term that's everywhere, the imposter syndrome. And especially women, I think, are like very attached to it. It's true. We should just cancel that term.
Podcast episodes, workshops, talks, live talks, networkings, like please stop. Let's stop with this. I mean, because it's not getting anywhere. I mean, one of the most transformational books that I've read, and we can share about this, is The Power of Now. Yes, it's like a slap in the face, several times, slap in the face, like, ooh. But so when I think in something like that, I connect it with the book, and I say that's what the term of identifying and promoting this energy comes from, because when you identify, you make it bigger. So it's like, no, I mean, the good thing is that to observe what is happening, what am I going to do to transform that, or what is it teaching me in the end?
Exactly.
Not staying like that. Oh yes, I have imposter syndrome, and you're gonna sit down and drink tea, like
I'm sorry, I have imposter syndrome.
like a medical condition. Okay, and
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then connected to that, it also reminded me of one of my favorite authors and motivational speaker, Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with her. She said regarding like confidence and trying that confidence is the willingness to try.
Exactly.
I love that. Just, hey, I'm out here, I'm willing to try, I'm willing and ready to make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how you gain confidence, because
Exactly,
you
yeah.
never have it like in the beginning. It's like you
Exactly.
have to get it with experience and with trying and failure.
I saw a master class in, I don't see, creative something, I don't know. Then I will send it. It was 2017, and she talked about this. You are never gonna get confident when you do things. I mean, you get confident of brushing your teeth because you've done it like 1,000 of times. And it happens with everything. I mean, all the things that we do, I mean, the first time that I don't know, recorded a voiceover job, or I'm not a voiceover, I didn't study this. And without the carnet, I just went. It was like so, oh my God, I cannot do it. But I did it with fear, with the, you have to do things with fear. Like, go, do it. Do things with fear.
And this is what I feel like we're almost taught, that if we fear something, we have to sort of get rid of that fear and just before we can start, because we have to learn to do things feeling this fear. We cannot get anywhere without, it's always gonna be there. This fear. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. For example, I mean, I keep recording podcasts for, I don't know, now I'm with this big client, and it's a dream that I had when I entered in 2021, no, a year ago. And it's, I mean, top, it's very challenging, it gives like more job. And I was still nervous. I've been in the radio from 2017. Why I'm still nervous? But it's like a sign of, okay, this is good. Because if you stop feeling like that and you go like, oh yeah, let's record, and you settle, the joy just went by, So if you have still that, it's like vibrant, let's get to this, and the spark.
I feel a little fear here. It's like, oh, there's something like some challenge going on here.
Exactly. Yeah.
But could it be that not all of us now I'm just thinking really out loud, like what's coming up in my head, like could it be that some of us don't like that? No, I don't believe it really, but I'm just like thinking like, are we different people in general? Like, are you and me just like these kinds of people that just like this? It's kind of like a rush, I guess, or is it something that all human beings really need in their journey, in their projects, in their tasks and daily life, like to feel this, or is it just specific type of people? I'm just like, no, I'm just thinking out loud. What do you think?
I think that everybody feels it, but with different things.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about planes, for me, I'm not fond. I mean, I like traveling, but I don't care about the control, like, no. But yeah, I think that everybody feels them, especially because what comes now in my mind, we don't like things that we cannot control. I think that may be the reason why we feel so nervous and anxious, and this kind of stories that we tell. But the thing is, we cannot control anything.
That's the thing, we cannot really. There are so few things that are really under our control.
Yeah.
And how do we manage that? How do we go about life?
Yeah.
Not controlling things.
Yeah, but it would be very boring. I mean, if you could control everything. I mean, imagine like the best year of your life. 6 months. Give me 6 months. Or 1 month.
I mean,
A specific time day that a lot of great things happen to you, unexpected, like surprises, gifts from the universe. Did you plan that?
No.
They came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I mean, even if we go down, and talk about feedback community, have you ever felt or imagined or controlled or planned that you're going to meet these amazing people and nurture your body and go work out and feel amazing about yourself and at all?
No, exactly.
At all. So embracing the unknown.
Exactly. And that's what we have to learn even better, maybe, especially now at these times. That it's hard not to sort of put ourselves into where we're placed in time and space in history right now, with post-pandemic, with a lot of rupture going on in political landscapes in the world, in Europe and all that, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of layoffs, a lot of uncertainty for people. How can people face all this?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that is one. I mean, of course, it's tragic and it's not by. I'm not. What I'm going to say, I don't want to be interpreted by, oh, you're denying the reality or you're not sensitive enough, because when you're being laid off, it's very bad. I mean, you feel bad. You feel like a failure, you feel a lot of things. We all got laid off in some moment in our lives. You don't recover easily, it's very nasty. But usually the most hard times of our lives are pushing us to say, this is it. You have to do something else. And the other something else that is waiting for you is 10 times better. Even if in the immediate future, on the present, it's not as you would like to, but it will pay off. And also, it's just focusing on one side. I mean, it's like people that wakes up and see the news in the television, the first thing in the morning. Is it going to do something good? I mean, are you going to save the world like Superman? No. Can you do something? No. What if instead you could like start the morning in a different way, nurture yourself with positive things? Because what you focus is what you expand. So if you wake up and throughout the day you focus, oh, look at this, look how bad is this, oh, the metro is, all these ongoing stories. And I mean, it will seem like there's never enough, and the world is misery and all pain and struggle. Yeah, but there's also another part that is a lot of people waking up compared to 10 years before. It's a lot of people choosing not to eat meat, or to eat less, or to have better habits, or to go to the gym, or to meditate, or to, I don't know, in workplaces, they're talking about mental health. Well, it wasn't possible 15 years ago, 5 years ago. It wasn't that didn't exist.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're moving forward. It's like everything. You have bad things or less beneficial, let's start, and great things that are happening. It's moving forward in the end.
Exactly. And I mean, only like taking the pandemic as an example, I mean, after that, now workplaces are much more flexible with where people are working. Like, this has created a new environment in work culture, and it's definitely beneficial for personal health and personal lives of people, for sure.
People that realized that they didn't want to live in an apartment, they wanted to travel, they wanted to quit their job, they wanted to quit their marriage. Do you feel that something that is bad? No, I mean, it gave me the time to clean up my email, for example, or make courses, or learn about myself. So in the end, yeah, it was very bad for some moments, but it all gave us something.
Yeah, exactly.
A change of direction, and sometimes like we need those pushes from life to change, because otherwise we will stay in our boxes, like very comfortable, and I'm not moving because why? I feel good. It's not perfect. It's not what I want, but I'm okay.
It's like it's comfortable.
Yeah, like cozy.
I don't want to shake the boat, rock the boat. No.
Yeah.
If we don't do it ourselves, the universe will come and just like whoop.
Exactly. Like, oh no. Hold on.
The storm is coming.
And on the other side, like.
No, I think as of course like the situation like now and on other times in history where people like humanity is facing crisis and all that. I think it's in my opinion it's the universe sort of telling us that we have to change something. That there's something, and now like there is a tremendous shift in mindset and consciousness. I think which we really needed after the past decades with the rat race and all the the I don't know, like the hunt after something that we don't need and it's not beneficial for us in the end. It's amazing. I had a conversation with someone recently that they were comparing this time now with 100 years ago in the 1920s after the First World War. It was like a horrible time in human history. Like the First World War like had tremendous impact on so many countries and people, but it was one of the most creative eras. Like the 20s, they were super creative. People really had to just like rewire everything and like so much happened.
Put the mind to work.
Yes, put the mind to work, and it's beautiful. It's hard as it can be.
Well, actually, I think in one of the this last big crisis, internet came up. Something came up. I mean, in every crisis and in every big impact.
Yeah, the 80s. 80s, 70s.
I think 70s.
I'm not old enough. Yeah, it's true.
But it's the opportunity that you have because you have nowhere else to go. You have nowhere else to go, so you have to put your mind to work.
Yeah. We have a saying in Icelandic that I really like. I try to translate it. It's Neyðin kennir naktri konar spinna. It's when you are in circumstances where you are in a need, like needing, you're in crisis.
Yeah.
And you're naked.
Yeah.
You will find ways to find clothes. You will find some ways, like because you are in that crisis.
Exactly.
We use that a lot in Icelandic. So it's. But we were talking a bit about like failing and making mistakes and all that, and my podcast is called Please Plan to Fail. It's initially was really for myself because I've always been so afraid of failing, and it has helped me so much back. And can you tell us maybe more about failures in your life and how you learned from them? Anything specific that comes to mind, especially in your journey, like in podcasting or whatever?
Yeah, I think that the biggest failure that maybe I felt is studying something that in the end you don't come up, or maybe like lost in what I wanted to do, what my soul is asking me to do, and overcoming the time that, I mean, a year passes by and you still like figuring out, and that breaks a little bit the nerves. But then I connect with stories that people like, I don't know, there's a writer that I love, that is Louisa Hay. She found out her purpose at 60 years old. And the first book that she sold, I mean, I think that she made $35, $35.
Yeah.
So it's not that she made herself millionaire in the first. But I don't know, it's a lot of years back then, and we're talking about this now, and she still is very up to the date, you know. But I think that mostly that, and another big time lesson was when I came here. I felt very good in career move in Argentina. I skyrocketed very, very fast because I did something, my own radio show was very different from the other, because I observed how other people were making radio, and I say, I'm not gonna do it like that. So I very invested in personal branding. I made photos, I connected with the DJ, I created community, you know. You say what song should I put, you know, like playing the human Spotify before it was even released. So I was offered another radio show at a much bigger.
Here.
No, over there.
And Argentina.
But I had already the flights to come, and I didn't regret it. The thing is, when I came here, I had to let die that identity of, in what it comes to the safety of, oh yeah, I'm a radio presenter, I'm a voiceover that comes to the studio to record 4 times a week. And I based my whole identity over that. I didn't meditate. I saw my friends, but I worked from Monday to Monday because I had 4 jobs. I was very workaholic. So when I came here, nobody knows you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody. You're nothing. You're no one. You're you. I mean, you are you. Yes, not that you're no one, but nobody knows you. Nobody owes you something. Nobody's going to give you a chance because they have no idea who you are. And like you, there are millions. And you have to start from scratch. And that means getting a job that it wasn't a profession, it was a job to pay the bills. So I had to lower down up to the first step. And it was like, oh, with all the frustrations, with all the tiredness, I never had a full-time job in my life because I was a self-made freelancer and business, you know? So it was very hard to overcome that, to say, okay, yeah, I have to meet people. I have to do this to understand how is things made in Europe. It's very different from Latin America, very different. You have resources, they have a different style of thinking, of buying, of understanding the culture. So I say, okay, I know that the first 2 years is going to be very complicated, very dark. There was. And though I prepare myself with coaching sessions, with NLP, life still hits you. Like you're prepared to, I don't know, a car accident, and you put a vest and something, and then a plane's come and hit you. So it happens like this. So the failure was like that. Why I'm not resolving, or I have my professional side resolved already in my life with 32 years old. And I think that I'm wasting time with these bad jobs. Like, what am I doing with my life? That question was very repetitive over the first 2 years. What am I doing with my life? I love Barcelona, but what? So, yeah, it was hard. But over time, yeah, I never stopped. I remember that the second day that I arrived, I signed up to a networking event at Soho House, a beautiful place over here, with very important women. So I tried to get their phones and get coffee with them and get to know them and make something, you know. I didn't know what I was going to do, but something. So yeah, I had like this big lost inside of me because everything that my past life was dead. It wasn't there anymore. I mean, I couldn't replicate what I did back then over here because it's different. So I had to embrace that in the unknown and keep moving. I mean, don't stay there. I mean, you feel bad, but you have to keep moving. And I feel very grateful for that thing that I have in my personality, because even at my lowest, I keep moving. I keep moving. Like, okay, this door closes. I cry while I try to knock I cry because, yeah, I'm not gonna hide my feelings, and I cry a lot. But I like, okay, let's drink coffee. So yeah, I keep moving. I started meeting people, and everything led to, in 2021 was the first thing that appeared that I felt better, when they called me to record and be the host of the podcast of the Argentinian consulate of Barcelona. And it was a big, big timing because it's in the website. I mean, it's very important. So I felt like, it's starting to happen. Finally, all this big effort is paying off. And you meet people there, and then you meet other people thanks to that. My meditation guide came thanks to that podcast. And for example, what I thought that this agency was going to come and give me, in the end, nothing happened, but I gained other things. And I connected back with podcasting for helping somebody else. I learned a lot about me and what I don't want to do and what I do want to do. So yeah, I came with the plan, you know, what I'm going to do in the first months that I come to Barcelona. And when I see that list, it's like nothing happened, actually. And I don't know, there are some things that you keep growing, you keep questioning yourself, you keep understanding about yourself. For example, the Argentinian tone is not useful over here. So I had to learn the accent. The Argentinian accent is not useful over here to record like voiceover. So I was like, oh, I have to make a course and pay this, and I don't have the money to make the course. And then, because I sent my demo to hundreds of studios, one studio called me and they said, they made a test, la la la. It was a very bad test. I fell asleep. My voice was not warm up, like all the bad things that you could imagine. 1 year after, they call me and they say, we have a client. You are in between 2-3 options, but you have to record in neutral Spanish. Okay. So I put like YouTube, how to make a neutral Spanish accent, and practice. I had 2 days. I recorded it. I sent also a meditation that I recorded and created in the pandemic because I was bored and I wanted to make people be better. And I sent it because it was the same tone, you know, relax. It was kids' stories for sleeping. And I got it. And this company is Calm. That is one of the biggest apps of meditation, and I got it. And it was the first job that I had as a voiceover. So did I plan that? No, I didn't expect it at all. But it also, thanks to failing in not having or recreating exactly the life that I had, it gave me the chance of looking at the other areas of my life that I wasn't looking. I didn't work out. I didn't take care of my health back then in Argentina, like nothing. I wasn't self-aware. I didn't make therapy, like I didn't. I had in my mind the idea of sacrifice and working my ass off. That is good, but you also need to rest. And for me, resting, because of the culture that I was grown up, meant, oh, you're lazy. If you rest, you're lazy. So I had to also let go of that and say, no, Barcelona is teaching me that people are resting and having a good time, and they go to festivals and go to the beach without, oh, I have to run to a meeting. No, like a little bit of chill. So, I mean, the sense of failure, you have it in the first moment, I think. But like we said, when you go back and you think back, you say, oh, but I learned this, that I needed it a lot. And that also makes you like a calmer person. You can take better decisions in life based on your essence and what your soul is asking you. That it doesn't have a voice because it's shouting, but you cannot hear because you're living in your head. So it's lowering down this, so this little voice of your heart, let's say, can talk and say, I would like to do something like this. You know, this little...
Yeah, exactly. It's like quiets down all the jargon. It's just, oh, this is what you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah, so we have to embrace that. And yeah, getting back with the mistakes, because it's a lesson in every mistake. It's okay, yeah, I fucked it up, but what is it teaching me?
What is it teaching me? Next step, what can I do differently? Moving on,
Yeah.
Learning.
Cry, write about it, journal, gather with a friend to talk about how bad you feel about the mistake, but embrace it and celebrate it.
And yeah, exactly. Friends are very, very important here. Having friends to cry on the shoulder, to consult in. That's the best. That's the best in all this.
Yeah. And also having friends that understand, let's put in something else. When you're trying to do something, especially people creative and freelance, not many people are going to understand that path. And sometimes you have to sacrifice some social gatherings, some things that you would like to do, but you have to put that effort into your business. You have to get people to understand and pushes you to be better every day. Not to, oh, but you worked enough. Oh, but one beer is nothing. No. Oh, don't work out. You went yesterday. No. Because those people are not going to help you grow. They're not going to help you become the gang that you need to be the person that you want to be, or especially that.
So what do you suggest? What do you suggest people do with all these people around them that are not the best influence, bringing them down?
Radical honesty, radical self-honesty first. That is painful, because it's not that they're mean people. Nobody has bad intentions. They only say that because their level of consciousness is in that level. You may be like over here, it doesn't mean that you're better than them. No, it's just different. And realize, because maybe they're friends of high school or 20 years, and it happens like that. It's the most painful people that you don't want to leave. But depending on the grade of how bad they're trying to hold you, but if it's less and subtle, I would suggest first communicate. Say, okay, I'm on to this. I need you please to understand me that sometimes I'm not gonna be able to join every week to drink beer because no, I have a business to run and a business to grow. If that person doesn't understand and keeps complaining or making, oh, but you're always, maybe take a time off or select what times you can share with that person, and the business part share it with someone else that is more mind like, because it's gonna help you grow, because it's gonna teach you now a tool for your business or a website or an intern or something, you know. But making a little bit apart, not completely cut the relationship if you don't want to, but choose what is suitable and what is not.
Exactly.
What is nurturing that.
Exactly, what is nurturing the energy you want to be in. And it is hard, and I mean, not everybody can do like we, like leave our country and our past. It's like,
yeah, I mean, we solved it very easily. You took a plane and bye, ciao, ciao.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way, but of course, we also have both of us probably still our families and a lot of friends back home and all that, and then you also, like you're saying, we create new lives in a new place, and then we also sort of go through this journey of sort of what kind of energy do I want around me, and have to, especially when you're starting, like you're saying, you're starting from scratch in a way when you move to another country, another, like for you, continent. It's it's scary, and it's like, but it's very exciting at the same time. But it also means that you enter into situations that you haven't before, or you're more open, so of course you get into maybe relationships or friendships that aren't, you realize later, aren't the best for you either. So it's and the influence around us is so important, like what we, and like with media, like with news and all this. I think one of the best things that I have done in my life in the past 2 years is I almost stopped listening to news and reading news. I'm updated on like the most important things, but for my mental health and my well-being.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I studied that even when I did radio, so because I didn't talk about news. It was a show about no news.
It was a show about no news.
No news. I mean, it was only music, culture, and business also, because I wanted to promote the entrepreneur. It was very different from the style of the radio. It was nothing. So I bring bands and people that were starting their careers are music, but they were very good music. So I filled the studio with live music, with artists, with stories, and how they were struggling, you know, and promoting their dates. So yeah, the best and healthiest habit, I would say, turn off the news. Don't grab your phone as soon as you wake up, please don't. And just take like a conscious deep breath to expand and release so you can start the day. But yeah.
Starting the day with yourself.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your morning routine? We have to work towards the end, I know. What time is it? Yeah, it's almost 11. Okay. So what's your morning routine like?
My morning is, it goes changing, but I didn't have a morning routine back then. But I started 2 years ago, and I feel like it's one of the best decisions that I had, especially because I lack of clarity and direction sometimes, and focus. I have a lot of good things, but the lack of focus, I'm still growing and getting better on that. So I'm looking for that. So for people that also struggle with that, a morning routine gives you a structure in your mind. Like, okay, we do this, and then we do this. So the first thing, now I'm waking up. I don't use the phone like for 1 hour. I don't check because nobody's dying when you wake up. Our messages can wait for 1 hour, but you have to stop that addiction. and then take a deep breath. And I'm starting to do a little exercise that is very good, and it's powerful. It's called thinking on purpose. So I start with 2 questions, and I say, how many amazing things, I mean, I'm like with my eyes closed, and I'm like this, connecting with my heart. And I say, how many amazing things are gonna happen this day? And I feel that energy. I'm not saying like, oh, how many amazing, no. How many amazing things are going to happen this day, and how much unexpected money I'm going to receive. It's working. Yesterday when I did it, and every time that I do it, a lot of opportunities of voiceover, DJ, like moving things. But you have to leave it. Then I wake up, I take my vitamin D, because in the winter we lack, and it's very unhealthy for us. Then I drink my lemon juice with no food in the stomach. I wait 30 minutes. I drink the celery juice to over detox and that. It's convenient not to throw a lot of food in first thing in the morning, because the liver and the intestines are cleaning all the toxins during the sleep. So the water with lemon is fantastic to keep on eliminating toxins. And toxins are important to have energy throughout the day, to think clearly, to release that foggy mind that you're like, oh, you're like a zombie. And then I meditate my 50 minutes, and then I start the day. Sometimes I put a mantra when I drink mate, and then, the breakfast.
Of course you drink mate.
And mate. Always mate, especially after working out. It's a pleasure. So for people that don't drink mate or don't know what it is, it's a traditional drink that we have for years and years. That is like herbs. You drink it as a tea, but with a straw, and you share it. I mean, you finish, you share, you put water.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, it's a ritual. Yeah. But what I like it is way better than coffee, because it doesn't. I mean, coffee you can take 2 and then you have palpitations. Mate, it doesn't happen. But every time that you gather with someone and you drink mate, it's like this share of how are you, but how are you really? Yes. Know that, I'm good. And maybe inside your grandpa died and you're miserable and sad. How are you? And you give a mate, But coming back to the question, the morning routine is like that. And sometimes it changes. In the past, I did a little bit of journal, but I feel that if I do a lot of things in the morning, I start by 10 and it's very late. So I have to find the best setup between mind, body, and
work.
And work. And I also do a facial cleaning with 5 products. The Korean.
Whoa.
Korean has the best skin.
Yes.
And I take a lot of care. So I make exfoliate, and it takes 5 minutes, but it's important to put cream on your face and absorbing, that thing. So
Great. And it is, I mean, you obviously have discovered the benefits of having a morning routine and start your day in the right manner.
It helps a lot. What about yours?
It like yours, it has changed a lot, and it changes between periods. And sometimes I have crappy morning routine, like in between, like if I'm entering into a lot of stress, like has been a bit of in my last week. So my morning routine has been pretty sloppy, and I'm a mother, and for the past months I haven't had my son, so it's been. I realized that he was keeping a bit of a sort of a structure of my life, that I'm now like kind of like a teenager again, and I'm like have to Oh yeah, you know, because I also work sort of freelance and like in a job that I can manage my time. So sometimes I wake up at 6 or 7 and sometimes at 8, 9. You know, depending, and sometimes allow myself to, you know, stay up late, and it's like this teenager, it's like, oh, I'm staying up late, I'll do this. So I'm really at this point, I'm sort of like discovering new things. But when I've been in my morning routine has been very similar to your, in the way like I try to not use the phone. I do meditation, journaling, sometimes I do gratitude thing. But right now I'm in a bit of a transitional period, so it's like it's very inspiring for me to hear, like, and with this I haven't been doing this cleansing thing for a long time, and I have coffee in the morning and I love coffee, but I'm starting to drink mate. So that's one and I'm feeling it's I think it's very good. But so no, I'm not a good example right now of a good morning routine, but I'm very much aware of it and getting there. But I'm, like I said, I'm kind of in its teenage phase at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all have through phases. I mean, I had this couple 3 months with no workout, clearly eating garbage, basically. Exactly. I mean, from Christmas to the whole winter, bad. But what I learned is that, okay, it's evolving like this. I'm not gonna punish myself. I'm not gonna stay in this state, of course, but I will feel better over time, and I will implement some small changes until I go back to my previous state where I was fine. But yeah, embrace your teenager. Maybe she wanted to get out, and allow yourself to have fun a little bit.
Exactly.
And say, okay, twist it a little bit, that morning routine, until you slowly come back.
This is what I think is so good to remember and important. Like, you always bounce back. You remember, if you had something set up before, you will get back there, even though you lose track for a while. You know, so it's just this to believe that, you know, we have this, we already built up a lot that we can always tap into back again. Today it's been an amazing chat. I know we could talk like the whole day. Obviously, it's so easy. But your podcast, what is it exactly about? And of course, we will link everything we've been talking about, and also because you're a podcast coach, maybe you want to tell us about what you have something coming up.
Of course, yes. Well, my podcast called Talks by Romina Hakim is conversations that help you see things in a different way. That means because we get stuck, you know, with one idea, and I like horses, you know, like no. So it's like broaden up and take this mask of the eyes and say there's a spectrum of things that you're missing. And well, back before recording, I told you about how I started this podcast. When I was in radio show, I had like a very complicated breakup and a very complicated relationship with a person that has an addiction to drugs. So aside from that, there was other trouble, and I went through hell in that moment. A hell that I'm grateful today because it overcome with the person that I'm today. But back then, I felt so bad and so like without energy and drained. And I say, maybe this experience will help people to not go through what I went, because it's very bad. So with a lot of shame and like, oh, I don't know, I say, it doesn't matter me, it doesn't matter, it matters the people. So I did it and it was a success, but I recorded like once episode. Over time, I focus on this, on conversations that help you see things in a different way, and also push you and kick you in the ass to move to action and to the things that you want to do, or change something that you don't like in your life. So it talks about fears, overcoming fears of reinventing yourself professionally. That happens a lot. Being an expat how is it to adapt, personal branding, about love and relationships, and how I overcome failure after failure after failure and manifesting this big, healthy relationship that is amazing, is a dream. Now, yesterday, actually, we released an episode talking about the importance of the present moment and how we can embrace it and let everything go, all the anxiety, all the worries. So yeah, it's a show that I love to do because it's 20 minutes and it has a lot of humor, like I like to put it. Also sound effects, and to make it really like an experience, an audio experience that you have fun with it and you feel like, oh, it's done already. Like I want more. It leaves you with that sense. And now this year is going to come back the live events that I did last year with live recording. That is gonna be amazing. Oh my God. Yes. Because I make like a game between people to connect, and that is very powerful. And also on April, I'm launching the first podcast workshop for entrepreneurs that want to launch their podcast but have no absolutely idea how to start. And you end up looking 1,000 tutorials. You don't know, like, what am I going to do? This software, I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to edit. This is bad. And you feel like, oh, no, it's too much. So I created a method that is very easy for people that, handle technology, but not so much, and to have fun in a very easy way. So it's going to be 2 encounters and workbook to keep on working on that. So more episodes are coming to the podcast. The idea is to make 1 video podcast per month. Going back to the events, we have 2, think, in this podcast workshop, and also working with some other entrepreneurs and one-to-one with personalized sessions to also help them to create their podcast. And I feel so happy with that because seeing those babies out there is amazing. Crafting the music, crafting the script, how you're going to tell the stories. Oh, you should do this, or maybe you can do this, and put all that creative side and the production to other people's podcasts makes me very happy. Actually, we're working very strongly with feedback, with the podcast of feedback that is going to be released on the 17th of April. So it's less than a month. And some others, yeah. So if anybody that is listening right now and is dreaming to make their podcast, you can call me because we're very happy to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we end?
Follow me and
Follow Romi.
yeah, and if you're in Barcelona, I would like to invite people. I also always answer my DMs. I love talking to people, even if I don't know them. I connect a lot. And yeah, I would say just whatever they have in mind, go for it without thinking. We are going to fail a lot of times in life, but it's about that, experimenting and exploring and trying and having fun in the end.
Exactly. It's very nice final words.
And thank you for having me here. It was an absolute pleasure. And yeah, it was, as I said, it was one of my goals this year, this 2023, to be invited in 12 podcasts. So now I'm 11 to go. And this is the first video podcast, yes. So
And in English as well.
And in English, yeah. Woohoo! Yes.
All right.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in. Please plan to fail. Feel the fear and embrace the chapters of your life where you might have felt lost in. The universe has your back and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And remember, confidence is the willingness to try, Stay tuned for next episodes and amazing guests on my show that is coming up. Love you, Anna.